I'd like to welcome our guests to YouTube and also to our Google Hangout today with an exclusive interview with a friend of mine. He's a champion bodybuilder. He owned his own gym. He's a network marketing leader. And also there's some unknown things about him, and we're going to find out more about my guest, Daniel Doyle. Daniel, welcome to the Hangout today.
Yeah, hi Lau. Thanks for having us on today, mate.
Oh, it's a pleasure, absolute pleasure. Now, it's great to have the opportunity to interview you here today, and I just have a few questions for you. Now, can you tell me something about you, your background, and how you got started in the health and wellness industry?
Yeah, okay. I suppose it goes back to when I was quite young, 5, 6, 7 years old. I started playing rugby league, and I've always had a passion for sports because my father was actually the coach of our rugby league team and started me in sports early. And I was born and bred in Parramatta, so I'm a mad Parramatta supporter. But that led to other sports. I did gymnastics for a fair while and judo, and then in the mid 80s I got into aerobics, and it was for the girls, I suppose, and then evolved into bodybuilding in the late 80s. And through that period, what seemed to happen in my life when I suppose conquered a sport, I felt it was time to move on. It was a real shame I didn't stick with any particular sport because I was really good at everything that I did, and I achieved really, really high in these sports. But the bodybuilding led to business. In the early 90s, in 1990, I ended up buying a bodybuilding shop in Newcastle. And I sold supplements and aerobics gear and gym gear, and did diets for people, and started competing seriously myself back then. And that involved also into expanding the business into selling gym equipment. And then I moved across the road into a bigger premises in Hunter Street, Newcastle, and there was a gym in the back and an aerobics room, and I had the biggest bodybuilding shop in the country. So it was a very, very good business. And around that time, a little bit of an entrepreneur, I actually started other businesses like promoting sports and even wholesaling gloves and belts to gyms around New South Wales. So there wasn't too much time to sleep because I was actually bouncing in nightclubs on top, and I just had to keep really, really active, I found, in life, and I was really energetic. And I found that time it was an opportunity to do a lot of things in business, to create multiple incomes in traditional business, and to have an income coming from everywhere. And throughout the period of the 90s, as I said, I did a lot of diets for people and learning myself through the bodybuilding industry and competing. It became quite scientific, and I really enjoyed looking after people with their health, helping them achieve what they wanted to do in life, physically and mentally, keeping them in a healthy state. So that was the early days, but it led into me sort of buying and selling, building traditional businesses over a 20-year period. So from 1990 to 2010, 2011, I basically built and sold 20 traditional businesses. So I didn't have any experience prior. I didn't even get to year 12, but had a little bit of knack in business. My biggest business, I had a security company back in the early 2000s. We employed over 500 people around Australia. It was one of the biggest crowd control security companies. But as I said, in the background, it was always about health and fitness, keeping myself fit and healthy. 2011 was a pretty challenging year because I was diagnosed with a serious blood condition, and I went through 3 to 4 months of heavy-duty chemotherapy, and I was on a maintenance program with that for about 2 years. So I wouldn't wish chemotherapy on my worst enemy, but it was an experience in life, and it was a major challenge for the couple of years. My wife, she took time off work to look after me through that period. So financially it wasn't good times because we both weren't working. We had a little bit of insurance there with life insurance, which thank goodness I haven't used yet, and trauma insurance. But end of the day, we were going backwards financially at a great rate of knots. Towards the end of 2011, a friend introduced me to network marketing, and I wasn't interested at all, at that stage, because I was still going through treatment. And he ended up twisting my arm, and I got involved in early 2012. And I built quite a successful network marketing business over a 3-year period, and I'm still involved in that business, and it's returning an income. So that was my exposure to network marketing in the last 3 years. Life's taken me into a little bit of a different direction now, but we'll talk about that as the morning goes on.
Fantastic, Daniel. Well, from your response, you've shown me that you are very successful in a lot of different areas, and almost every business that you start, you are successful at that. So I wanted to ask you a question about the mindset. What sort of a mindset is required for someone to succeed in life, or succeed at business, or succeed at bodybuilding? Could you share some insights into that?
Yeah, I think life is all about having a plan, and first and foremost, literally having a goal. You need to be focused, or have a focus on where you're going in life. And the mind's very powerful, so you need to utilize or train yourself mentally to get to where you want to go. So if you don't plan and you don't have goals in life, it's very difficult to be focused on what you want to achieve. So I think the great thing about being involved in so many sports back in the early days, you had to be very disciplined at training and setting those goals to achieve and to win too. I mean, I did several bodybuilding events, and 2 of those were state titles, New South Wales state titles. And I don't really like to talk to them, because as far as I'm concerned, there's no second prize. I never won at that level, but I think if you're in the top 3 in the state, you've achieved pretty highly, and it takes a lot to get there. It's a big toll on your body. It's a big toll on your life. So I learned a lot through that period. But you've just got to set your goals, and you've got to make plans, and you've got to see that finish line. You've got to be able to see that end result.
Okay, fantastic, good. Now, you've been involved in the health and wellness industry, and you've explained a lot of the things that you got involved in and what you've succeeded at. Could you tell me what is so awesome about the health and wellness industry for you now?
Yeah, for me personally, the biggest thing would be seeing people morph into a healthier person, morph into a happier person, and if they can gain financially on the way through, that's an absolute bonus. So the exciting thing for me, the pleasure for me, is seeing people getting healthier and being happier, and hopefully be comfortable financially while getting there.
Okay, well that leads me on to the next question, which is, how long does it take for someone to learn the ropes and to become proficient at marketing in the health and wellness industry, to actually make a career out of it and earn enough money to support yourself and then some?
Yeah, I mean, as far as someone personally can change their habits physically and mentally overnight. I mean, you need to have the determination and willpower to do anything in life. And I said, if you're setting those goals and you focus on where you need to go, you'll get to the end result, and you'll get to that place where you want to be. So for anybody, the focus is to get into that mental position where they can move forward and not deviate away from where they want to go, that plan. The great thing for me was I literally, and I still do it, I can physically see where I want to go in life through a vision board, which I've got up in it, and I take that everywhere I go. I mean, Suzanne and I, my wife and I, are literally travelling Australia in a camper van. We are having so much fun. My blood disorder that came along in 2011 totally changed my life. I mean, the great thing is for me, I don't worry or stress about anything. It's a shame to have to go through what I went through to have that attitude. But we're in a camper van. We're doing a bit of house sitting around Australia, and we're building businesses as we're travelling. The great thing I love in life is meeting people, and to be able to help them, with their health. It's just a blessing in disguise. So, going back to the question, somebody can change their life around overnight. It's got to be a mental shift, and they've got to know where they're going in life.
Fantastic. So to be able to set a goal and to focus on that goal, it sounds like the way to go. And you talked about the vision board. What sort of pictures do you have on your vision board?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing is being on the road at the moment and being in the camper van. We're travelling Australia, so we're getting to see Australia, and so we're getting to meet a lot of people, which is what we love. But we want to do that around the world. So we want to be able to go and travel through Europe and do the same thing. I mean, we're in a position with what we're doing where we can do it from anywhere in the world. So it'd be great to travel every single continent, doing exactly the same as what we're doing here in Australia. But we've got a little bit of a job to do. There's a lot of people who have issues, whether they're health issues or they just want to improve their lives. We've got a big country here with 23, 24 million people. So we're going to do that for the next couple of years. But the goal is, obviously, the vision board's full of places all around the world, and we'd just love to travel and show people that we can change and help them change their lives right around the world.
Excellent. Okay, now, what are 3 secrets that someone should know in order to be successful at network marketing?
Yeah, I think you definitely have to be physically fit. So I suppose that's what we're coming back to with what we're doing, but also mentally fit. And as far as network marketing, you can build a network marketing business. You can build a network marketing business from home. So when I mention when I say you need to be socially fit as far as the third thing's concerned, it's not going to help if you're a recluse. But you can definitely build a business like this from home, over the internet, through social media. So the business that we're doing, you can definitely do that. But if you're getting out there face-to-face with people, obviously that's going to help too. Now, when I talk about being physically fit and mentally fit and socially fit, you really need to be that in life in general anyway. So it's something that everybody really needs, those 3 aspects to get on with life and have a good, healthy and happy life. And being socially fit, I think, is a big part of it. Talking to people and just getting out there and socialising, building a network face to face. But it's not critical and crucial, but I think those 3 things are absolutely key.
It wasn't the answer that I was expecting, Daniel, but it is a great answer, and it gives me food for thought. And I want to move on now to ask you, what is the best way for a new home-based business entrepreneur to get started in health and wellness?
Yeah, I suppose I learned a lot through traditional business, and when I started a business, you start with the name of the business that you're going to start and the logo, and all these things are important as starting a business and as that evolves. So as far as the network marketing business, the important thing is obviously the product. So the product really needs to be a unique product. Something that nobody else has would be fantastic, but obviously that's pretty rare. The other thing is the company. You need to be working with the right company, and obviously with the right compensation plan. You want to be compensated and remunerated for what you're doing. The third thing would be the people you're working with. So the members or associates or the distributors of the company. You want the right type of people, and they're going to be created from the company. So the company's ethos is very, very important. The principles, economic and gain, and also ego. So if you've got a good balance, you really need to be selecting people that have a great balance of their economic situation, their ego, and principles. You don't want anybody to have a big ego, or their main focus is making money. So if their principles and their economic and their ego are in check, if that's a good balance, you're going to be working with some pretty good people. So that comes down, and that stems from the company. Yeah, I think that pretty well sums that up. The right company, the right people, and definitely the right product.
Okay, fantastic. Now you've spoken about what's important with a product and a company, but when someone gets started as a new marketer, what are some of the methods that you would recommend that would help someone to get started and to be able to grow their network marketing business?
Yeah, obviously it comes down to the individual. Somebody, they might be in survival mode, whether that's survival mode because of their health or survival mode because of the financial situation they're in. Everybody's totally different. They've got different motivations for doing anything in life, whether that's starting a business or just in general life, or starting a network marketing business. But as long as you're persistent and consistent with what you're doing, and you've got that plan, that focus, and that goal, I say to people, if you put every waking minute of your day outside of your busy schedule, whether that's the job you're in, whatever you're doing, to build a network marketing business, and you've got that consistency and persistency, you really can't fail. The only person that's going to let you down is yourself. If you're with a good company, with a good product, and working with good people, it's really up to you to build the business. So put every waking minute of your day outside of your busy schedule into building the business, and that could be 7 days a week, it could be 5 days a week. I just love what we're doing, so I'm doing it all the time, basically 24/7. But down the track, Suzanne and I, our weekends will be every day, one day. But the great thing is we love what we do, and if you love what we do and the company you're working with and the product you've got and the people that you're surrounding yourself with, you're going to have a good journey along the way.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Now, do you have a wellness product that would be ideal for someone who's new to get involved in the health and wellness industry and start making money online or face-to-face quickly?
Yeah, well, as I said, I've been involved in many sports, and even back as early as the age of 13, I did start weights back then. And once I got to the situation where I got serious about training and got into bodybuilding, I've used a lot of products. I've used a lot of products from my teens right through to now. I'm 47 now, and I've probably had enough supplements and products to sink a battleship. But what happened back in October last year, I got a phone call from a friend. He was in Utah. His name's Bart Cotter. And Bart I've known for a while through this other business I'm involved in. And Bart rang me up. He was pretty excited. He knew about my condition, my blood disorder, which is incurable. And he said, Danny, there's something that I've got here that you really need to look at. He said, I'm over in Utah. He said, you really need to come across. For the sake of your own health, you need to come and have a look at this product. And obviously with everything I've been through, and I've been on really good products, quality products through network marketing businesses, just as a customer for 2 and 3 years. And I go on the feeling within my body and the results I get, obviously. So I wasn't too keen to go all the way to the States to look at the product. But he said it's a lot bigger than this. He said, you know, you need to come across and, you know, it's something very unique as far as the product's concerned, but it's a fantastic company. So he was talking about this company by the name of Asea, ASEA, and when I went across, I wanted to do my due diligence not just on the product but on the company. I want to know who was behind the company. I wanted to know who the people were building the business, testimonials of people who have experienced the product. And it was a great 3 days in Utah. You know, we went through the manufacturing plant. We had a look at the offices. But when I got over there, we met Vertus Norton, who's the owner and founder of Asea, and his son Tyler. And they were just beautiful, humble people. I mean, that was the beginning of, you know, being welcomed and them being hosts over there. So we're sitting around a boardroom table, and there's people that actually came from all over the states and also all around the world. There's probably about 20 or 30 of us in this boardroom. And you've got upper level management and Vertus talking about the company, talking about their ethos and talking about their product. Now, while we're sitting there, we're drinking Asea, which is the marquee product. So the company is called Asea, and the water's called Asea. And we're drinking it and not realising, you know, what this water was. I mean, it wasn't the best tasting thing I've ever had, but it tasted a little bit like chlorine, but it was palatable, and we were getting it down. And we've gone through the whole day. We went through the manufacturing plant. We had a great time, actually. But my physical experience, I got back to the hotel room in Utah that night, and I went to have a shower, and I'd taken my shirt off, and I couldn't believe that I was covered in pimples, like ugly, white-headed pimples. And I've gone, you know, what the hell is going on here? And I'm thinking, well, we had the trip from Australia on the plane, and it could have been the humidity. I was in a jumper, I was in a t-shirt. Never thought twice about anything. So they've got another product called Renew 28, and I had a tube of this Renew 28, and it's a topical. And I thought, oh well, we'll see how good this product is, and I, you know, rubbed that into where these pimples were. And I've got up the next morning, and unbelievably, everything had cleared up. There was not a blemish. So we went to breakfast the next morning, and I've got a stomach condition, and unfortunately I'm intolerant to caffeine, and I love my coffee. So for the past 20 years, if I have more than 2 coffees in any given morning, I end up with excruciating pain and bloating in my stomach. So I thought to myself the next morning, I'm going to test this water that we drank the day before. So I had 6 to 8 coffees for breakfast. Now, normally I would have been buckled over in pain all day, but I never had any pain. There was no pain at all. And I thought, okay, well, it's either the coffee's different in America or this water's doing something to me. So we went back over to the offices, we went back into the boardroom. We started drinking the water all day and going through a few other things and meeting various people. And I was drinking this water, I started getting a headache. So the day went on, and I've had this headache all day. I got back to the hotel room, and I've gone through the exact same experience that I went through the night before. I was covered in these pimples, and I used the Renew 28. Next morning comes, all cleared up. And the third day, we sort of left for a bit of a fun day. We went to a theme park. And by this stage, I'm actually feeling physically and mentally totally different to anything I've experienced in my life. And today, till today, I can't explain that. But we went to this theme park, and I said to these 2 friends of mine that I was with, I said, watch this. And all of a sudden, I've just picked up and I've run about 100 meters, probably in about 11, 12 seconds flat. And I was standing there like I'd been conditioning myself for that run for 20 years. I was breathing like I'm breathing now. And the thing is, with all the chemotherapy that I went through over those 2 years, I had a lot of lung damage done from the chemotherapy. So even when I got to the end of a sentence, I'd have to take a big breath in to say the next sentence, and let alone walking upstairs or walking up a hill. So for me to be standing there after that run, breathing normally, just absolutely blew me away. So what it was telling me was within 3 days, I had this lung damage, I had this stomach problem, I didn't have it anymore. And it can only be put down to one thing. It can only be put down to this product. So as time's gone on, I've actually learned what this product is, or what they've done, or what the technology was that they've come up with. And it's something that scientists, it's something that humanity thought they could never do. So there's an atomic medical physicist by the name of Gary Samuelson who came up with the technology. And it didn't happen overnight. It took nearly 2 decades, and it took a lot of money. So what they've done, firstly, I suppose, what's created in our bodies to make sure that our bodies heals itself as quickly as possible. There's a molecule called redox signaling molecules. These molecules are created from what's called a mitochondria within our cells, and these what these molecules do, they signal when they talk to each other, and they've got to find any cells that are damaged as quickly as possible, because they only last for a split second. So as soon as they find a damaged cell, they either replace or repair these damaged cells. So what happens as a child is we've got an abundance of these redox signaling molecules in our body, and if you do have children, when a child falls over and they cut themselves or bruise themselves, they heal, they recover very quickly. What happens with us from puberty, the efficiency or the abundance of these redox signaling molecules aren't around anymore, and this is where we actually age, and this is where we start getting diseases. So by the time we get to 70 years old, we only produce 10% of the molecules that a child produces. When we get down to zero, we aren't around anymore. So, I mean, by the time we get to the end of this conversation, Leo, if we didn't have these redox signaling molecules in our body, we wouldn't be alive by the time we finished this little interview. So this is how crucial and important these molecules are to life. So what they've done through salt water, they've changed the molecular structure of salt water into redox signaling molecules. It goes through a 3-day process. The company's got 37 overlapping patents for the next 20 years on the technology, and this find is what they're considering to be the biggest scientific health and beauty breakthrough in our lifetime, this century, and some are even saying ever. And me analysing this over the last couple of months, I couldn't imagine anything bigger than this technology being created ever. So when we're putting these molecules back into our body, it's empowering our body to substantially heal itself faster than what it's doing now. Can you imagine the ramifications for somebody that can't get on top of a condition or an illness? The benefits from the Asea, the water, and the Renew 28, the topical that they've come up with. I mean, we've got a billion baby boomers on the planet. They all want to look younger and feel younger. So from the topical, from the Renew 28, can you imagine saying to a lady that you can reduce your wrinkles by 21% in 28 days? These molecules get in there and start rejuvenating your skin. But we're talking about anything from nappy rash to sunburn to skin conditions to even an internal injury with the topical, through to reducing wrinkles, age spots, anything you can think of. And can you imagine the water is doing that on the insides of our body? So if you're ironing out the wrinkles on the outside, the water's getting rid of the wrinkles on the inside. So we've got two very, very powerful products. Two products that will probably take over everything that anybody's ever used. Now, people still need vitamins, obviously, and they need to top up. They can't get things out of their food. But we've got two products that are making people feel younger and look younger. We've got two products that, well, when it comes to the sporting industry, now imagine being able to increase your endurance by 29%. Imagine recovering at a fraction of the rate that a sports person is recovering now. And then when it comes to illnesses and conditions, imagine empowering your body to substantially heal itself to get on top of, you know, these conditions and illnesses that people have got. So we've got our hands on something very, very special, and I don't think we're going to see anything like it in our lifetime again, and probably not ever. So we're really blessed at this time in our lives that we've actually come across this technology, and this company's been around for 5 years now. They only had the initial product for the first 4 years till they come out with the topical. So it's not as if they can create or come up with something overnight. So we've got a product that helps on the inside, a product that helps on the outside. I mean, I had to talk to the company. I said, it'd be a real shame to come up with anything else, because these two products do everything. But at the end of the day, imagine coming up with a toothpaste with molecules in it that just gets rid of your bacteria and cleans your teeth, without those metals in it that we use on a daily basis when we're brushing our teeth or we're using underarm deodorant. I mean, I'm using the Renew 28, the gel, as hair gel, so I don't have to put anything in my hair with chemicals in it. So yeah, we've got two products that can change people's lives. So the company's focus is to sustainably grow it, to make sure that they've got enough supply to roll out countries around the world. They operate out of America, out of Utah. They've got an office in Europe. They're in 25 countries at the moment. Australia's still going through the process of the water being approved here. Hopefully that'll happen sometime next year. We're getting access to the water for personal use if we're active associates on the Renew 28. I mean, with the gel, my wife and I get 4 tubes per month. We're using 2 tubes each. That's doing top to bottom. And so I'm using it as hair gel. I'm using it as underarm deodorant. I'm using it as all sorts of things. But I bump into people all the time. People that haven't seen me for a month. People that haven't seen me for a year, and they tell me how good I look and how fresh I look. And obviously it's only it comes back to one thing. It comes back to using the product. So, Leo, yeah, we're in an absolute. We're at the front end of this tsunami, I suppose. That every single person around the world, once they find out that this product's available, they're more than likely going to want, because there's so many people that this can help. And there's a couple of 100,000 associates now in 25 countries.